Good morning, folks. Welcome to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Shroyer, your host, and we've got a treat for you because we're normally talking to farmers and that sort of thing, but today we are talking to the folks at the East Kansas Agri-Energy Center near Garnett, Kansas. We're going to be talking about what goes into this plant, this ethanol plant, and talking about renewable diesel here in just a moment. So, folks, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities, big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Good morning, folks. I'm Jim Shroyer, host of That's My Farm, and we're in luck today because we're at the East Kansas Agri-Ethanol plant outside of Garnett, Kansas, and in Anderson County, and we have the vice chair of the board, Scott Bergdahl. And Scott, this is a really interesting plant here, and can you kind of tell us the history of it and where we are today?
Well, the history of this plant actually goes back to 2000 with the Anderson County Economic Development Board that wanted to do a project in Anderson County around Garnett to enhance an agricultural pursuit. It was turned over to a steering committee in 2001, and East Kansas Agri-Energy LLC was formed in fall of 2001, and we went into a money raising mode for about 3 years. And we broke escrow on the project in January of 2003 and broke ground in the fall of 2004. Started production of the plant in June of 2005.
Okay. So today, let's go back. When you started, what was the capacity of the plant at that time for ethanol? You've been breaking records on production ever since you started till today. So what's your production of ethanol per year, basically?
Well, the plant was designed with a 35 million nameplate capacity, and today we're producing approximately 47 million. So we're well over nameplate capacity, and that had to do with some upgrades on our process, tweaking the process, and then added some projects to the plant that increased production.
Okay, let's go back to, you're the vice chair. So yes. How many members are on the board, and what's the makeup, and what's the makeup of the owners of this plant?
Well, currently we have 11 board members, and it ranges from there's 5 or 6 that are in agriculture, whether it be row crop production, livestock production, which I'm in, and we have members on the board that are, one is an executive with H&R Block. We've got a young lady that's in the extension service in South Central Kansas. We've got businessmen, insurance guys, bankers. So we've got a range of professionals on the board.
Right.
The unit holder makeup, we have approximately 700 unit holders, and they range from about half of those unit holders are in agriculture, and about half of them are non-ag.
Okay.
And they range from most of them are based in Kansas, live in Kansas, but we have unit holders in many other states, including as far away as Minnesota and Texas.
Okay. So how many bushels come in? You mentioned 47 million gallons. How many bushels come in, and where does that corn come from?
Well, we'll take in about 17 million bushels to produce 47 million gallons, and we buy corn. Our range of influence on buying corn is about 11 counties surrounding this plant.
Okay, Scott, I got to stop you there. We have to take a word from our sponsors here, so folks, stay with us. Scott, you don't go away. We'll be right back.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484. That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities, big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back, folks, to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Shroyer, and we have the production manager, Jacob Diebold. And Jacob, kind of take us through the operation of how we get a bushel in and how we get a gallon of ethanol out.
Well, we are a dry grind ethanol facility. We grind approximately 16 to 18 million bushels of corn a year. On occasion, we will grind a little bit of milo, but we are predominantly in a corn area.
Sure.
The process is pretty simple. We take the corn, we grind up the corn, and then we cook it. And during the cook process, we're breaking down starches into various kinds of sugar. After that point, we cool a mash off, which is what that process ends up with, and it goes into fermentation. In fermentation, we want to break down those complex sugars into glucose, which is food for the yeast. During fermentation, yeast will metabolize the glucose into carbon dioxide and ethyl alcohol. After that process, we become distillation. So we will take the alcohol out of that beer, and in turn we will distill it up to 190, and then we will use molecular sieves to take it up to 200 proof. The last stage for that product is denatured alcohol, so we will add a little bit of a gasoline or petroleum distillate in order to make it non-consumable.
So Jacob, what are some of the co-products besides the actual ethanol?
Well, we make distiller's grains, both wet and dry. We make approximately 190,000 tons of wet a year and about 72,000 tons of dry. Most of our wet product goes to a domestic market, and our dry product has the ability to reach an export market. So we also make corn oil. Currently our corn oil is used for biorefineries and animal feed.
Right.
In the future, we will use it to supply our renewable diesel plant that will come online in 2015.
Okay, so where are we?
We're in the control room. This is kind of the heart of operations. Everything that we see in terms of the plant is mimicked here on the screens. We have external camera views so we can see where trucks are at any one given point in time. And we have our DCS control system that is our interface to the machines out and about in the plant. So a team leader sits here and monitors what we call the boards and then directs the other operators to where they need to be.
Right. Okay, so as I look at these screens here, my question is, I don't know if it's obvious or not, but it is to me. So when a bushel of grain comes into the plant and a gallon of ethanol goes out, about how many days?
About 3 days.
It takes 3 days and you have a finished product.
3 days and you have a finished product.
Okay, and the distiller's grain at the same time?
Same time.
Okay, so
an approximate same time. So it is a continuous process with batch fermentation, but most dry grind plants are. So it's a pretty static in terms of time frame between start to finish for process.
Jacob, thanks for giving us a little overview.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. And folks, stay with us. We'll be right back after these words.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
National Bank Ag Professional. You'll be in good company. They'll help you track expense lines, manage variable input costs, assess ground agreements, pick a crop protection plan. These times demand ag professionals. Central National Bank. You could profit from what they know. Ag operations run better on Central Time.
Central National Bank. Money for life.
Member FDIC in your hometown since 1884.
Now another gardening tip with Annette Jackson.
Fall
is a great time to plant trees, shrubs, and perennials. Root development this fall means more growth with less watering next year. For faster root growth, always use Fertilome Root Stimulator. It is the only stimulator which contains IBA rooting hormone. Use Fertilome tree and shrub food after the plant has been planted for a month.
Save 25% now on Jackson's homegrown hardy perennials. Let Jackson's friendly staff help you select the best plants for your landscape.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back, folks, to That's My Farm, and with us we have the plant manager, Doug Summer. And Doug, this is a state-of-an-art plant here, so kind of tell us the improvements, the efficiencies that that the plant has in place.
Oh, Jim, we're always looking to maximize the value out of a kernel of corn. For example, East Kansas has integrated some processes to help improve on efficiencies and yield per bushel. For instance, we have added a pre-condensing process in which we are capturing alcohol vapor that would
be lost to the
atmosphere.
Right.
That's increasing our daily yield by approximately 1,500 gallons.
Really?
Other examples.
That's not chicken feed.
That's not chicken feed. When you add the value of a bushel of corn, or the value of a gallon of ethanol, that's a bottom line increase.
Sure.
Right away. We've also are constantly looking at expanding heat exchangers, for instance, to transfer more of that heat without having to increase the production.
Because when you go from that, when you bump that up, that 100 in the beer mesh operation, you go from what 180 degrees to 220, and then you bring it back down. That steam's got to go somewhere.
That's right. That material has to be recooled. We try to take that temperature drop that we need to achieve and drop it to a material that we need to reheat before distillation. So we're constantly looking at maximizing those efficiencies. We also here in the last few years have introduced corn oil extraction here at the facility. We are constantly producing probably 3/4 of a pound of corn oil per bushel of corn.
Right.
Again, that is another bottom line increase. We're maximizing that value through a corn oil product.
Well, now that steam we were talking about a second ago. That steam runs a turbine, and so what does that turbine do? What does that do to your electrical use?
Yeah, through the turbine and through that steam, we're generating roughly 18% of the electrical demand to the facility.
Obviously you use a whole lot more.
Absolutely, but that's a huge savings in the whole scheme of things when it comes to the demand of the facility. That gives us a little bit of a competitive edge over other plants that particularly don't have those types of savings in-house. Just again, that's another example of things that we're looking at. We're continuing to look for those opportunities.
Okay. Anything else? Any other ideas?
As we've mentioned earlier, we are looking at a renewable diesel facility here in the near future, in which again we're going to continue to add value to an existing product here at the plant, meaning in the corn oil.
Okay. Doug, I really appreciate you taking time to. I know you got to get back in there and get the plant going. So, Doug, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jim.
Folks, stay with us. We'll be right back after these words.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities, big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back, folks, to That's My Farm. We're on Glenn Caldwell's farm, just south of the plant where we've been. And Glenn, I know you're on the board, so obviously it's been an investment for you, and we can, it's in your backyard basically. You can see the plant just right there every morning.
Yeah, you sure can.
So tell us a little bit about how you got involved, and obviously how you market it to the plant.
Well, I got involved because we've never had an end user in our area.
Right.
All of our corn was exported out of here, went to Missouri and Arkansas to feed chickens.
Right.
And this was an opportunity to actually have an end user here, which then we could make up that freight difference and get a better value for our corn just selling it to the plant. And then by investing in it, we could even get more out of that dollar invested in our crops. So that was my interest, was getting an end user right here.
Okay. So of your neighbors, you've got a bunch of neighbors, they're involved with this as well as stakeholders?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, okay. There are several farmers. In fact, there were about 20 or 30 of us got together to begin with that same idea.
Back almost 14 years ago.
Exactly. Okay. And out of that group, the original board members went ahead to drive this forward to get to where we are. So yeah, there's a lot of people in this county that invested in the plant.
And obviously has turned out pretty well so far. But I know you've got a lot of bin storage over here. Some of your neighbors probably don't have that much storage, and so there's a whole range of how people market to the ethanol plant. So I mean, there's a lot of people that just take it straight from the field. And so how do you basically market your corn?
Well, I forward contract to the plant for one thing, but as a result of the plant being developed, I put in my own storage. I always had a little bit of storage, but not very much because there was just no place to use it here. Mm-hmm. No reason to keep it on the farm, work through the elevators and they market it. So I built storage. I know how many bushels I'm going to have. I can forward contract some, and then I'll see what happens during the year with the price of corn.
Right, you don't want to over forward contract because you don't know how much you're going to have at the end of the season.
Exactly.
And then some of your neighbors probably just take it straight from the field right in, and more of a spot, drive in, spot market type of thing.
And we'll do the same thing on occasion too. This year, with the way yields are, we may have to do a little bit more of that, which is a wonderful position to be in, and have that opportunity to do it, and know that the plant's going to be giving us a better value than if we had to drop that load someplace else.
Okay, and just the cost of hauling it.
That's right, the transportation.
And then you got the empty truck coming back.
Exactly.
Okay, so you talked about yields a little bit, just real quickly here. I mean, you've got almost Iowa-like corn yields this year here in Anderson County, don't you?
It's been a phenomenal year here. We're going to have yields that are going to be in excess of 150. I think my personal yields might even push 180 overall. And that's tremendous when you consider that the average yield for the farm is only 105. Okay. So the weather's been ideal for us this year.
So just one last thing, since I'm a wheat guy, your Everest wheat did pretty darn well this year too.
Yeah, that's another success story.
Yeah.
Last year was 60 bushels an acre, and I thought that was the greatest I'd ever seen. This year it was 70 bushels to acre. And it's just a wonderful year to be a farmer here.
Okay. Glenn, thanks for taking time and to talk about the plant and how you market your corn. Folks, stay with us. We'll be right back after these words.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here, now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities, big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back, folks, to this last segment of That's My Farm. With us, we have Jeff Eastman. He's the president and CEO of this facility. So, this is big business here for Eastern Kansas and the farmers of Eastern Kansas. But you've got plans for something else.
Yeah, it's actually, we're doing some amazing things here at East Kansas Agri-Energy. Besides the ethanol and the wet distillers, dry distillers, we make a product called corn distiller's oil. We decided we wanted to add value to that corn oil, and one way to add value was to produce renewable diesel. We looked at both biodiesel and renewable diesel and made the decision to go with renewable diesel because of the premium it receives in the marketplace. So we're pretty excited about that. We made an announcement here about a month ago, and we'll be starting construction here probably in another month. Hope to be finished in a year.
And up and going. So, so tell us real quickly here, what is the difference between renewable diesel and biodiesel? Because there are some distinctions.
Well, biodiesel and renewable diesel, the similarities are the feedstock. Both can use corn oil, soybean oil, used cooking grease, animal fats and greases. So there's a number of feedstocks they can use, but that's where the similarities stop. Where biodiesel is a chemical process called transesterification, they make a diesel-like product. But what we are doing with renewable diesel is we're using a petroleum process called hydrocracking. Hydrocracking, actually, we're able to produce an identical diesel product. So it is true drop-in product. It is molecularly identical to diesel.
So if you were to take a petroleum diesel and your corn-based diesel, the renewable diesel, wouldn't be able to tell the difference?
You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. They are identical to the molecule. And our customers, who we have a great relationship with, have been asking for stuff like this. And this is the kind of stuff that the government and other entities have been pushing in our industry. So, we're one of the first to get out there, and we feel lucky. We're excited about it, real excited.
Well, so how's that going to change your facility? Obviously, you're going to have to build a new one. And is that going to allow you to take in more corn?
Actually, that's really the neat thing about this is we're going to produce 2 biofuels, one being advanced, the renewable diesel, and our current ethanol with the same kernel of corn. So we are bringing in the same amount of corn that we always have. We're just going to produce 2 fuels out of it now. So really, really neat stuff. And on a side note, we're looking at about adding 12 to 15 new jobs to the facility, which will be great for the community.
And right now you already have, what, 35 or 40?
About 38 employees.
Full-time employees.
Full-time employees. We work, we're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week operation. Have a couple days shut down in the spring, but we hit it out every day.
Well, that sounds good. Jeff, I tell you what, I really appreciate you taking the time and letting us into the facility to see this, because this is really important for agriculture and just business in general in the eastern part of the state.
Absolutely.
So, Jeff, thanks a lot. And folks, thank you for staying with us, even though we got a little bit wet here. And don't forget to stay with us. Next Friday, we'll be back again next Friday, so we'll see you then. Thank you.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.